side of his best friend's right, trying to holler at me, checking me, but his game is kinda weak, and I know that he cannot approach me, cause I'm looking like class and he's looking like trash. Can't get with a deadbeat ass, so no, I don't want your number, no, I don't wanna give you mine, and no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no, don't want none of your time, no. To hate Andrew Anderson, stating truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I bring the facts whether you like it or not, dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain, well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide.
Good evening. Welcome to College Sports Villains. It's going to be a great show today. We are going to recap week one. We are going to preview week two. We are going to have a special guest, football frame of mind, at least half of them, a little later in the show. As always, we got our normal co-hosts in here. Nothing to do really now but do it. So let's introduce our first co-host of the day. Chris, what is going on?
I'm here and I'm undefeated.
Yes, you are excited, and we're going to get into that. We're not going to preview week two because it's going to be a slaughtering on Alcorn State, but we're going to get into the victory. We're going to do the recap, man. I know you're excited about this, and I'm going to give you your moment on it. I just want to say, well, no, we're going to save it for the Vandy segment. All right, time for our second co-host of the day, if I can find it. All right, let's do it.
Nobody can stop me now.
James,
what's going on?
Man, no hat and sunglasses. We in serious mode tonight.
Well, you know, I'm on watch right now, but thankfully it's only for 12 hours. So, I mean, this already happened last time.
No worries, man. Like, it's so loud with your personality. So when I don't see you with it, I immediately think he's in serious mode. He's got something to say. Hey, look, Chris ain't the only one whose team had a big ass victory this past week. So we're going to get into that one too.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, but before we do that, let's introduce our last co-host so far of the day, and my personal favorite. No disrespect to you guys, but she's my personal favorite co-host. Emily, how are we doing? You're on mute. How are we doing?
Doing great and undefeated too. Ha ha.
Yes. So we're going to recap that all of our teams are undefeated. I'm feeling really good that week 2, all of your teams are going to be undefeated. But we'll get into that a little later in the show. South Carolina got a little harder run than your teams do coming up next week. So let me go ahead and bring Jonathan. What's up, man? So glad you could join us. I'm going to holler at you here in a minute. And everybody, this is Derek. He's father. He's faith. He's got this whole new Facebook thing coming up. He's got his own podcast. Reached out to me through Villains, and just asking like how things go. And I'm in their group. It seems pretty cool. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to watch his podcast tomorrow. But I want to say a big special thanks to SEC Power Conference. They've been really accommodating to me. They reached out to me, had some kind words to say about my content. So SEC Power Conference, if y'all aren't a part of it, man, that's a good place to go. Very, very nice to me. They were. JQ, all the pages. Thank you. Also, JQ, I would really like you to come on next week on this show where we can recap South Carolina, Kentucky. One way or another, one of us is going to be sad and one's going to be happy, but I'd love you to come on. You can either brag or sulk, brother. We'll see how it goes.
So while you're talking to JQ, let me just say, when I got off work today, I checked out his podcast. Man, this guy has been working. He's changed his background behind him. He's changed his graphics. He's 100% working hard on his podcast. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Rating Their Podcast. He's got some great content, and he's working really hard to make it a show worth watching. Liked what you did there, JQ.
Yeah. So definitely go watch JQ's podcast, man. JQ is a cool guy. He's a big presence too. So get your Rating the Air podcast. So I want to start out real quick with meme of the week. I mean, like, dude, this guy. I thought in my heart of hearts that Lenora Sellers. I'm like, man, he missed like 4 wide open passes. He hit a lot of them that they dropped, but I was like, man, he's so young. He's got all these growing pains his first day. And then we get a fucking senior up in here, and he's overthrowing wide open people 5 yards down the field in the end zone for a wide open touchdown, man. This guy is bad. It's because I've seen this guy. I have seen this guy play good football. I have seen it. So he's got some kind of mental trap right now that he has to get over. But right now, man, he is not doing well at all. So what do you think, Chris? You agree with me that it's a mental trap because his talent is there?
Man, talk about lack of development.
I agree.
And Mike Norvell and what he's trying to do with this guy, it's not working.
Matt,
I don't know what, you remember when he was a true freshman and Trevor Lawrence had COVID and he came into that Notre Dame game and he had over 400 yards against that Notre Dame defense.
Yep.
And that wasn't no defense to sneeze at either. That was a legit good defense.
Yeah.
And he carved them up. And to see where he's at now, I can't make heads or tails of it. Something definitely has not worked for him.
He is on his third school, Taz. I mean, I agree. Like, the fact that he didn't stay at Oregon State knowing that he was going to be the starter, well, we would assume he would be the starter. I know that Neil Money at Florida State got in his head, but I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and go after Florida State because – first of all, the fact that they start 0-2 is just fantastic. I love it. Like, fuck Florida State, right? But with that being said, it's not Florida State's fault. The talent is there. The school spends the money, and they have a great fan base. No doubt about that. The problem is Mike Norvell is a fucking fraud. I said it last year. I said it in the offseason, and I said it before the season starts. All the receipts are right here on this show. He's a fraud. Jimbo's recruits are gone. His little mercenaries from last year are gone, and he is ass. He is fucking ass. No reason Florida State should be losing to Boston College. It's absolutely ridiculous that this school with this much talent took that L at home. At home, they took that L to Boston College. Gave up 260-something yards rushing. Just absolutely ridiculous. Mike Norvell is the epitome of fraud. Would y'all agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I actually think we got some video highlights of their game from Monday night.
Excellent. Ouch. Yeah. I mean, it's man, it is true.
I mean, hell, it's bad enough that they lost on not one but 2 fucking continents.
I mean, yeah. Look at this right here. So he did better at Oregon State, but Norvell has never had me come. He's right. He did better at Oregon State because Oregon State is a better coached football team. Like, that is an absolute 100% comment right there. He was developed there. They were running schemes. Mike Norvell can't do shit. Like Mike Norvell is a fraud, and that's how you're. Derek says, tell us how you really feel. So, Derek, I know it's the show, but I always tell you how I really feel. You'll never get anything but that from me.
I mean, look, I just want to say, like, it's good for Taz to say, like, he did better at Oregon State, but it's a fucking problem to this guy right up here when I say he did pretty good waking up hungover on Saturday.
Well,
USC surprised.
It depends on the context of good. There were a lot of things that he did not do well at Oregon State.
Okay.
But they were able to disguise it because they schemed around it. They started to call a lot of stuff that he could actually physically do, but he still, when it came down to it, you were seeing the same things at Oregon State that you're seeing at Florida State. It just that Oregon State was able to hide it better.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's about coaching. I think DJ is has a lot of talent, but he was definitely hammered. He was definitely. But so let's go ahead. You know who surprised USC? Let's go ahead and recap that game because we got a lot of things. So USC and LSU, right? LSU marched down the field on the first drive, had an easy 3 points. They were on the 4-yard line, went for it, didn't get it. Changed the trajectory of the game. You don't understand how much momentum means. If they kick that field goal, then the momentum stays with them. They're up by at least 3 at half, and that's a totally different ball game. What happened was Brian Kelly is another fucking fraud. Huge fraud, man. Huge. Even more than Mike Norvell fraud, right?
We're still sitting up here talking about the same thing.
That was so staged. But anyway, so he's a fraud. And what happened was Lincoln Riley is a slightly lesser fraud, so he outcoached him, right? So he went in there and he outcoached him and he won the game. LSU was not prepared to deal with this team. They just wasn't. And USC's quarterback, Miller Moss, I got to tell you, I was really impressed because I was like, he's following Caleb Williams. We're going to have this huge drop off. But that LSU defense is not terrible. And he was carving them up, man. Like he was just doing his thing against them. I'm very impressed with Miller Moss. Yeah, see, Miller, yeah, he's a problem, man. He's special.
So my take is there should be a lot of coaches fired at LSU this week.
Yes, agreed.
They had that game won.
Yep, they sure did.
Oh, yeah.
Had the lead, got the turnover, had possession with a chance to ice the game, and you shit all over yourself.
Yep.
People need to be fired.
LSU isn't the only school where people are going to be fired.
I mean, it's really crazy. USC was one of the more surprising teams. Like, because I had LSU winning that game, I think 2017, I said, right? So I knew it was going to be a close game, but I did not think because USC just outcoached them in the last 4 minutes of the game, and that was the difference. Like, just out-schemed them is what happened. And I love it.
Another aspect is you saw USC do something on Sunday night.
JD.
That last year's USC team with Caleb Williams didn't do. They went out and they won a game in the fourth quarter. They didn't do that with Caleb Williams.
Correct. So that's really good. So now I want to recap the Alabama game, right? So Western Kentucky, 10-win team last year, won a bowl game. Very, very respectable team. Got murdered. Alabama and Caleb Moore absolutely murdered these guys, man. We're talking, what was it, 63-3 or something? Like it was. Woo.
That wasn't a game. That was a straight up massacre.
It was. It was a good old fashioned beatdown. And I know Emily is like, she was excited, right? Because her team was playing. And then it was 28-0. Then it was 35-0. Then it was 42-0. I'm like, geez, man. Like,
yeah.
So Alabama is now projected to go 12-0. I don't know about that. Still got Georgia on that.
I don't know about that either. I was gonna say, like I said, I know it was only the first game of the season, but we really did see a big step forward from Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he went out there and he put on a show. Ain't no doubt about that. He put on an absolute show. It was good.
Apparently, TJ Finley did not talk to former Vanderbilt players. Because you remember, there was a Vanderbilt player at one time that said, Alabama, you're next.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And TJ Finley last week went live on air and said some stupid stuff. We're coming to show Alabama how tough Western Kentucky is.
Oh,
don't do that stuff.
No, don't do what a Vanderbilt player did.
I meant, like, look, if South Carolina player said it, we'd be roasting him right now too. I promise you.
Yep.
So before we move on to the next recap game, my thought on the Virginia teams is they lost their head coach. They lost their just really, really generational quarterback. Michigan has 2 or 3 losses heading for them this year. I don't think we're good. I mean, I think we may see them in the playoffs depending on how the Big Ten shakes up. But if they miss the playoffs, I would not be shocked at all. They lost a ton.
I wouldn't be. No.
But we're going to preview Texas and Michigan later. But let's move on to the next game. I want to recap South Carolina Old Dominion before we get to Vanderbilt. So South Carolina had 150,000 chances to put this game away. Had a guy wide open running to the end zone. A quarterback underthrows him by 3 yards. No one chasing him. No one near the receiver. Just throws it into the ground. And then we had several other opportunities where we just kicked field goal. We won the game. That's what's important. We found a way to win, and you can't overstate that. I know it was Old Dominion. I know it was close at home, but finding a way to win is really big. So I think Chris will really agree with me here. That's something Shane Beamer did not do last year. He did not find a way to win the close games, the Floridas and all that. He didn't find a way to win. So this was, as upset and disappointed as I was, this was actually a big step forward for Shane Beamer to find a way to close out a game and win it close. Lot of question marks with the quarterback. Offensive line still ass, but our defense is elite. Our defense is really fucking good, and it's going to keep us in a lot of games. So I got a lot of high hopes. So my recap is we found a way to win 1-0. On to the next. On the South Carolina recap.
The good part is it don't matter who you are, where you're at, what team you cheer for. It never fails that every single team in America, their biggest step forward in growth happens between week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the good thing about it is you get to try and make that step as a 1-0 football team.
Right. That's true. And you're not trying to recover from an upset loss at home. You found a way to win the game, and that's big. But there are offensive problems. What is your recap, Emily? You watched the game. What did you think about it? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I watched it with you.
I mean, like, watching it with you was rough. It wasn't as rough as before, though. You were a lot calmer, which was weird.
Well, I promised myself this year I would take an objective look at South Carolina, because before I would be so emotional during the game. I'd have to go rewatch the game on Wednesday just to see what happened and be able to break it down, because like I'm not watching it. Okay, so we pulled a guard. Okay, we were doing so. I'm watching it just pure raw emotion, and I'm trying to step away from that. That's just a fact. Did you get a chance to catch the game, James?
No. My wife actually planned a surprise visit from one of my old buddies from my Navy days. So we were, and plus Saturday was my wife's birthday. So obviously had to go on and celebrate. And I will be honest, I kind of missed some of the games, but as it progressed later on into the evening, did watch some of the later games.
Okay, so you did get to watch some. Well, I will tell you, South Carolina, I was really upset watching it with emotion, but as the days drew on, I realized they found a way to win, and that's something they didn't do last year. So finding a positive out of what happened, that's the one, right? You have to. Yeah. I mean, that was a positive. So as angry and upset as I was, and no anger at the coaches, so everybody, I don't know if y'all know, but I 100% got blocked by Will Muschamp. Yeah, win is a win. Hopefully it was first game jitters. I'm blocked on Facebook from Will Muschamp because I tweeted at him during his era there, and he did not appreciate my tweets none too much. And he decided that he had had enough of my bullshit, just to be honest with you, and he blocked me. And I was like, okay, well, and then as I was like, oh, I'm thinking, what a pussy. You block somebody. And then I went back and I read my tweets. I deleted them, by the way. Like, whoa, I blocked my ass too. I'd have been like, what is this jerk doing here, right? And I actually, even though he can't see it because he blocked me, I actually did get on X and apologize for my behavior, because that's what an adult does.
Yeah. Heat of the moment type stuff.
Right. So this one, right? How about Vandy? That was a great game. So we gonna recap Vandy, but we gonna let Chris go last. So James, your thoughts on Vanderbilt upsetting Virginia Tech?
Yeah. Pretty surprising. I'm not even gonna lie, but the transfers came in, they did their thing, and man, I was really surprised to see Vanderbilt get the win. But hey, look. Doesn't matter if you win by 3 points or 20 points. A win is a win.
Absolutely. Emily, what did you think about Vanderbilt winning?
I was slightly a little surprised.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because before we go to Chris, we're going to go rewind to last when everybody on this panel picked Virginia Tech to beat Vanderbilt, except one guy. That guy is this guy. So I told them that Virginia Tech is overrated. I went back and watched some of their wins from last year. They were not impressive. They won by some weird coincidence. And then you watch Vanderbilt last year. So close in so many instances. Insert a quarterback who is not a great Peyton Manning quarterback, but the kid is a fucking winner. Diego Pavia reminds me of what Connor Shaw was to South Carolina. Like he's going to make the throws that he has to make, and he's going to burn you with his feet, and he just knows how to win. He's a winner. That's what Connor Shaw was. He never lost at home in the SEC over 3 seasons. I want you to fathom that. Georgia never beat him. Tennessee never beat him. Florida never beat him. Nobody beat him at home for 3 years in the SEC. That's what Diego Pavia is. As much shit as I gave Chris about it, like, I know who Diego Pavia is. I watched him. Me and Chris watched that game together. We were texting back and forth last year when he was torching Auburn. I give him a lot of shit, but yeah, that kid was a winner. He was taking off. He was making throws. So I already knew what time it was. Vanderbilt is a better team than Virginia Tech. I will tell you, I have upped Vanderbilt's win probability this year to 7 games. I still think they'll win 5. But they came out and they showed something that I have not seen from Vanderbilt. We and Chris discussed this last week on the show. I can't pick Vanderbilt till Clark Lee shows me he can do it. But that motherfucker showed me he could do it last week. And with that being said, this is your moment, Chris. Bask in the glory of a Vanderbilt team that may be on the way to boiling.
Man. So I'm pretty sure these guys got sick and tired of me on Saturday using the word different.
It's true.
And when I say different, I've been a Vanderbilt fan for 34 years. This team is bigger, stronger, and faster than any Vanderbilt team I've ever seen. And that includes the 2 teams under James Franklin that went 9-4. Now, I'm not saying this team goes 9-4. Look, I'm a realist. We're not on the level of the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. We're not on that level. But there's some games on that schedule that, we have an opportunity. Now, the thing is, I don't know that these other teams on our schedule are going to surprise me as much as Virginia Tech. And what surprised me about them is how soft they were.
Yeah.
Because when the game started, the heat and the humidity was up. The clouds were there, but it was still humid at that point in time. And our offensive line and defensive line was just blowing these guys off the ball. I mean, they didn't want none of that heat and humidity. Then in the second quarter, it started to cool off. They started to get their legs under them a little bit. Third quarter, we went ultra conservative, trying to run between the tackles. We're just not built that way. And
he
was at the game. Yep. And Clark Lee talked about it after the game. We played well for 3 quarters. And to win in the SEC, you have to play well for 4 quarters.
Yep.
So there's still a lot of stuff to clean up. But in that moment, I got a video I want to share. And this is from the locker room after the game. I see you telling me to hold up a second. What do you got, Andrew?
Yeah, so we're going to take our first commercial break. Then we're going to introduce our last co-host because I want him to see this video too. Because you sent us this video, and I asked you to bring it to the show. It is that good, y'all. So I just want to make sure that our Football Frame of Mind guys here, and I want him to watch it because that is a good. So we're going to take our first commercial break. Let's see. Right here. So I want to make sure I don't put up the one that was jacked up last time. All right. So you're watching College Sports Villains only on Dog TV.
Can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, checking me, but his game is kinda weak, and I know that he cannot approach me, cause I'm looking like class and he's looking like trash. Can't get with a deadbeat ass. Oh no, I don't want your number, no, I don't wanna give you mine, and no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no, don't want none of your time, no.
To hate Andrew Anderson, stating truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast like a punch right to your face. college sports villain. Taking it over the place. I bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain. Well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. Hard rock in my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy of the podcast world, that's me. Unleashing the truth, setting it all free. Unleashing the truth.
Welcome back to College Sports Villains, only on Dog TV. So with that being said, let's introduce our special guest for the night.
Historically, the visiting teams have had a lot of success.
And these fans don't like each other, man. You can feel the hate in this team. They're so talented at a high level. And these teams have even rematched for a national championship.
As the defense tries to get off the field on third down. Got his man downfield. And the big game, and he got it on the 46.
And listen, the defense knew coming into this one, they were going to target him early enough.
Cameron, how we doing?
That's fire, man. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, man, that's a little intro I made for y'all, man. Like, everybody that comes on the show, I make an intro for them. So, but yeah, that's yours. Feel free to use it. So we gonna do some. We gonna get into our content, our real content now. But first, Chris, play that video, y'all. This video. I'm not a Vanderbilt fan, but like I was loving watching this.
Okay, so let me preface this video with Clark Lee played at Vanderbilt, and he had 0 winning records when he played there. He came back his first season, he went 2-10. His second season, he went 5-7. Last year was, it was just a disaster from the word go. Went 2-10 again. So with that context in mind, check out the post game locker room for Clark Lee.
Winning is hard. Winning is what? Hard. It's hard. And what's our mission? Winning. And it takes everyone in here. And today, and I thought Coach Kill teed up perfectly last night when he talked about not losing your mind. Teams that win don't lose their mind. And in that third quarter, part of the fourth quarter, we lost our minds. We lost our minds. And now I want you to just pause for a moment and just let that sink in. Because we got to learn from that, and we got to carry the learning forward. And we got to train it every day. That's what it feels like. Now, here's what happened. God gave us a heart. And we played with that heart, and we never let go of the rope. Yes, and I've got a resilient team. I've got a tough team. And this team, and I've got a great strength staff. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to learn, and we're going to clean it up. We're going to execute better on defense. We're going to get the ball back to our offense more. There's more opportunities for it. We're going to clean up our operation. I will be better as the defensive coordinator because that wasn't good enough in the second half. Offensively, we're not going to hit those lulls in the third quarter. All right? But at the end of the day, this win is to be celebrated for the next 24 hours. And then we'll put it in. And there are so many people, guys, if you've been here with me, God, if you've been here with me, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for never giving up, for having my back, right, and for fighting today. Those of you that have been here for 3 years, going on 4, understand the pain of progress. Thank you. For those of you that are new, thank you for believing in me, for believing in this program, for building into it every day.
Hey, man.
Good stuff, man.
Hey.
The team that went
Hey,
2-2.
the pain of progress, man. It hurts.
Yeah. No kidding.
So
I mean,
I like that, man. I like that.
think about the disrespect. They went 2-10 last year. Everybody picked them last in the SEC. I mean, they were an underdog at home, right? Everybody picked them to lose, and they come out and they find a way to win. So big. That's our Vanderbilt recap, man. I love it. So Cameron, we do a segment on this show called FAFO, where we just find some good videos. Today, I really only got one video, but it's quite possibly the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen some stupid shit, Cam. I really have. So let's go ahead and get rid of FAFO right now.
What is film bad, eh?
All right. So you guys ready? Ready?
Yeah. What if we begin? Ah! Watch out, man. Serious. Man, make sure. Anina, le bueno?
So you gotta be a special kind of stupid to stick in that fence.
Give me that finger. Give me that finger.
No.
So my question is, when he got a hold of the finger, why didn't somebody take a 2x4 and hit the fence with it to make him hit him right in the nose with it and make him let go?
Yeah, they were too busy filming the stupidity.
What did dumbass think was gonna happen? A fucking lion, not a goddamn tiger that's gonna be a big kitty.
Right.
That's true. I'm just thinking, why doesn't somebody punch the fence and punch him right in the nose and make him open his mouth?
My thing is, why I've seen this movie before. Why the black dude gotta die first?
Hey, look, this time he stuck his finger through a fence in a lion. This wasn't he was being chased by a murderer. He brought this upon himself.
That is true. That is true. So forget what I just said. He lucky it wasn't the whole hand.
So Cam, we have a tradition on this show. It's something that I do for Chris every week, man, and I'm glad you're here to see it. This is strictly for Chris.
They'll leave it with him. Gets it across the 10, a pickup of 5, and out of trouble to the 12.
Hey, 5 to 6 yards a pop. I don't know if you guys are really good at math, but that usually equals a first down every couple carries. So don't forget about the run game. Keep them honest. Pound that rock.
And he's running in the open. You're not getting him on the ground. Still on his feet. The 20. He's at the 10.
Why you do Vandy like that, man?
Hey, look, it's not as funny anymore now that Vanderbilt, beat a decent team. But so let me give you a backstory on it. So Chris and I always go back and forth because South Carolina Vanderbilt is a one-sided series, but we both had a lot of heartbreak in our lives with our teams, right? So I'm playing. I just got the new football game. This is like the day 2 that it came out. I'm playing, and I'm playing in my dynasty. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna turn it to freshman difficulty and just beat the hell out of Vanderbilt and send Chris clips of it.
Hey, that's what I did to Tennessee when they beat us that year.
What a dope. Yeah, he was not fine. So Matt, we're gonna preview South Carolina, Kentucky. I think you're dreaming if you think Kentucky can put up 45 on that defense, but we'll get there. So we brought up meme of the week earlier, Cam, before you got here. It's just terrible. So our first segment, we're going to go and apologies to my teammates again, because I did not involve them in my top 10 because I was just hastily I was trying to put it back together because it goes out on Monday, and I hadn't reached out. So this is CSV's top 10. I mean, a la Andrew's top 10, right? So I got Georgia, then Ohio State, then Texas, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Penn State, Oregon, Tennessee, and Utah. So Cam, I want you to read, because I put a little something beside all of them. What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? Who should be higher? Who shouldn't be in there? Just like a little minute synopsis, because we're all going to do it.
I mean, Georgia number 1. That's perfect. I mean, no panic. No panic with the Buckeyes. That's right. They did what they were supposed to do. Right. Texas was okay. They did what they were supposed to do. I think Notre Dame jumping up was really cool because I felt like they earned that victory. They did. They earned it. And obviously Penn State was okay. I mean, that was okay. I expected the game to be a lot closer, but that just shows how good Penn State is, I'd like to say Utah is surprising. I definitely didn't expect them to be 10 on the list, but they got a good quarterback, man. We've seen a lot of football, and I put a lot of stock in the quarterback, man. And if you got a good one, you're gonna win a lot of football games. And Cam Rising is that. So I like it, man. Hey, I'm good. And Bama 4, so we can't go nowhere but up right now, But
so let me explain my logic before I let Chris dissect it with Utah. So Utah's schedule is very favorable. There's no game on their schedule they should lose. So I mean, that makes you, especially in a Power 4 conference, that makes you a top 10 team in my opinion. Chris, what I get right, what I get wrong. Chris always dissects this and just like tears me apart on it. So what is it, Chris?
So you got Georgia right. Ohio State, man, they're better with Kyle McCord. I said what I said. I'm not a believer in Will Howard. If you go into a Penn State game or a Michigan game or a Texas game and you put that first half offense on the field like that, you getting ran out of the house. I mean, it is what it is. I think Ohio State fans should probably have a little bit of fear in their minds. Texas, man, having a backup running back to step in for their starter the way he does, they're the only team in the country that had a backup running back that was on the Doak Walker Award list. The only. So when you got a backup like that, you're fine.
Correct. Culture, blue chip, 5-star.
I still got Ole Miss ahead of Alabama. I'm just not a believer yet.
Fuck Ole Miss.
And I see Cam giving me that. What you talking about, Willis? I think Ole Miss is better offensively. I just do.
I don't know.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, they're playing the team this week that last year they were favored by 34 points against. They won by 2 touchdowns, less than 2 touchdowns. I think they got their hands. They're favored by 31 again this year, and I think they're going to have their hands full because Alex Golesh just has something about Alabama in his blood. I think they better hold on. Notre Dame.
I don't think so, Alabama.
Okay. We'll get to Alabama.
We'll get into that.
We'll look into it. What else?
Notre Dame. I mean, credit to them.
Impressive.
That you walk
one
into
of the most
a stadium
hostile
with
environments in the country.
Yes.
107,000 people in that house, and they were ready in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Freeman had that team rocking.
Yep.
Penn State. I think Michigan and Ohio State need to look out. I think they're for real. Oregon. The score is a little bit misleading.
It was.
Because they had well over 300 more yards than Idaho had. They just weren't scoring the ball. I think if they can find their way to the end zone, they'll be fine.
Correct.
But the scary part about them is that offensive line. They gave up 3 sacks against Idaho. They gave up 6 all of last year. You got to get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and this is where I'm going to be as open as I can about this next team, Tennessee. I had them in the top 10 to start the year. Chattanooga is not a bad football team.
Nope. Predicted
They're
to
not.
win the Southern Conference.
That is not a bad football team. And for Tennessee to go out there and do what they did to that team, I still say Tennessee's beating Alabama.
We'll get to it, Cam. We'll get to it. All right. So I could not agree more with Chris on Tennessee. Chattanooga is predicted to win the Southern Conference. Emily and I were at SoCon Media Days when they announced it. They're a good football team, man. If they're predicted to win the SoCon, means they're going to the playoffs.
Real quick, I wanted to touch on Georgia again. Remember, who was on this show last week and said Georgia wins that by 3 touchdowns or more? Cade Klubnik is not that guy. Clemson and Cade Klubnik are not what people think they are.
I still the offensive line was just overpowered. Cade Klubnik was running for his life like Spencer Rattler was at South Carolina last year, and he is no Spencer Rattler. James, what do you see here where I'm right or wrong? Who should go down?
Damn. Anyways, so Georgia, exactly right. Ohio State, no panic. They're going to be fine. Like I've been saying leading up to this season, this is easily Ryan Day's best opportunity to do something. Now that Michigan lost a ton, even their head coach to the NFL. So they got to do something to step up this year. Texas, they were who they play again?
Who did they play?
Yeah.
My mind just went blank.
It don't matter. It don't matter who they played.
Hey, what matters is we saw a touchdown from Arch Manning. They were doing so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Alabama, I'm actually going to have to agree with Chris. Yeah, Jalen Milroe did take a big step forward this season, but let's see later on in the season what they can do with the opponents that they have coming up. I mean, you could easily make an argument that you could have Ole Miss in the exact same spot as well. Notre Dame, yeah, I'm not even going to lie. Does it win it this year? Very true. Very true.
Big Ten, he might be on the hot seat, but if he goes to the playoffs, you're not firing a coach that makes the playoffs.
No, absolutely not. And
plus
on top of that, the seat's hotter in Gainesville than it is in Ohio State.
Yeah.
Mark my words. If they lose to Michigan again, Ryan Day's getting fired.
I don't think so. If they go 10-2 and Michigan's one of the losses and they still make the playoffs and win a game or two in the playoffs, they're not going to fire that coach. What else, James? What else you see here so we can move along?
But yeah, so like I was saying, Notre Dame, good spot. They went into one of, if not the most hostile environments in college football and got that win. It was an awesome win, and from what the score looked like, or from how Texas A&M was playing, a hard-fought win. Them boys were not backing down from anything.
Yep, good win.
But yeah, Alabama, Ole Miss, you could swap them or keep them. They still look the same.
They're trash. Anyway.
Penn State, the win over West Virginia was definitely better than we think. It's really going to be Ohio State and Penn State that are going to be running the Big Ten, and then it's just going to be everybody else that's competing for something.
Right.
Oregon, I would really have to kind of put them and Tennessee in a Oregon, Tennessee spot, Tennessee and Oregon spot, mostly because of what the score looked like for Oregon. I mean, I get it. Idaho is a good team in the FCS, but they come onto your home turf. You better do what Tennessee did at Chattanooga.
Look, let me tell you, Chattanooga is better than Idaho, brother. So anyway,
okay. But yeah, and to close it out, Utah, no surprise. We'll see what they can do in the next coming weeks.
All right, so I agree. Emily, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? What do you see here?
Everything's about right except for Alabama being under Texas.
Okay. Okay. I mean, like I hear you. I think Texas is a good team. So that's where we're at with that. So let's go to our next segment. Cam, this is a image that I've been doing for 3 years. It's the same image. I know I should probably update it, but I just got comfortable with it. And it's the state of the SEC. Everybody here is familiar with it, with the exception of maybe you. Read through it and just give me a couple that you don't agree with, a couple you do, and then we'll move on.
Well, I
agree with everything.
I don't think Brian Kelly's a fraud, man. The man's got 200.
Are you drinking the same water from Gainesville or something? Damn.
Nah, man, the dude's got 200 wins at multiple programs, man. He's shown he can win. And he's gotten to the championship, I would say one time. So I mean, he's been a consistent winner, man. That's my whole thing, man. Like, yeah, LSU, he should be recruiting a lot better, I think, personally. But that's all right. But I don't think he's a fraud, man. Now Napier, he's a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a fraud. But Kelly, he got too much skin in the game to be a fraud. But
agree to disagree.
That's all right. That's what sports is, man. If everybody agreed, it wouldn't be fun,
Right.
But I like what you said about Texas A&M. Same thing, same coach, same thing. Ain't nothing changed, They had they run with Johnny Manziel, and that was it. It's been rocky waters, no matter who's coaching. So let me see. Let me see. I mean, Georgia's still the best team in the land. I like that. Vanderbilt team of the week. Yeah, I agree.
Yep,
I agree. I think team of the week, man. That was a good game, man. That was a good game. And Mizzou. Why you say what? Why you say what for Mizzou?
Pinky, we'll see, but Michigan ain't beating Texas.
Why you say what? That was a good. I mean, look, okay. Murray State is not somebody you can judge your talent against. Okay, I understand. I do. But I also
exactly what Derrick Henry was going to do.
Yeah, I'm watching the game too. Yeah. But anyway, but I think Mizzou has a chance to shock people, man. I think they do. They got some good talent, man. I want to see what their running back does. But I mean, everything else is pretty good, man. I mean, Ole Miss does need to leave Furman alone because that wasn't
Correct.
nice.
Correct.
That wasn't nice. Like, why they do that?
Look, here's the other thing. Furman's a good FCS school too. That's a good team. So that win was very impressive.
but they ain't have to do them like that.
It was a Simpsons meme come to life.
Yeah.
They ain't have to do that. So that was nasty. At least we backed up off of Western Kentucky. They didn't back off at all.
63-3 was not backing off. Chris, what?
But it could have been worse. I was watching the game, right? And it was 12 minutes left. We didn't do no more scoring at all. It could have got worse. Just saying.
Okay, if you're going to say that, then you have to say the same thing about Missouri, because they literally took the foot off the gas at halftime.
Yeah,
Well,
why show your hand?
Well,
I mean, if you're going to say we took our foot off the gas and didn't score again, Missouri did the same thing.
But he had no choice. They couldn't do nothing. I mean, they could do nothing. I think they took their foot off the gas first.
I mean, that Ole Miss defense was going through them like they were a wet paper bag.
No, I'm not talking about Ole Miss. I'm talking about Missouri.
Missouri, yeah. All right, Chris.
Yeah, but Murray State, they took their foot off the gas first. They didn't even try in the second half.
Neither did Western Kentucky. Anyway, for me, the jury's still out on Mississippi State. They look good against the team they should have looked good against.
Right.
If Oklahoma doesn't get that offensive line figured out, and 1 for 12 on third down is not going to cut it in the SEC.
No, not at all.
Nope.
Arkansas looked really, really good against the team that they should have looked good against. I think they looked a little bit better than I anticipated. But I think reality sets in this week for them.
I do too.
Kentucky. Okay. I've heard so much yap about Brock Vandagriff. This cat had 169 yards passing. Midway through the third quarter against the worst team in the Sun Belt Conference. I'm not sold on Brock Vandagriff. I've said it for months. I'm not sold on him. And if he's only throwing for 169 and a pick and just about halfway through the third quarter against Southern Miss, let me just tell you, South Carolina's corners are a whole lot better than that.
Yes.
He might struggle this week. Auburn, jury's still out. They look good against a team they should look good against.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So for me, the biggest one on here, Florida. That's bad.
It's real.
That's bad.
They got based on stars and recruiting and everything, they broke it down. ESPN did. They have the 8th most talent in America, number 8, and they're taking L's at home. Billy Napier, unfortunately, he's gonna be gone.
I said they should have started last way anyway, dog. I'm not a Graham Mertz fan in the first place. I'm like, bro, your job's on the line. I'm going with somebody that gonna play like they don't care. Mertz.
Not to mention
Here we go. Here's the comment I'm talking about. There was 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. That's halfway through the freaking quarter, my man.
Almost
7.5 minutes is halfway through the quarter. You were halfway through the quarter.
Yeah. So, James,
get his ass. Yes. Yes.
Right, wrong. What you see here?
Fuck my
let's see. Bama is still Bama. No surprise. I mean, look, Western Kentucky came into one of the hardest stadiums to play in, and as a result, 63-0 was what we got. Georgia, still the best team in the land. I mean, it was really close in the first half between them and Clemson, but I don't know what happened in the locker room at halftime, but
coaching happened.
Yeah, Georgia came out and looked like a team that was like, hey, we're gonna get on this revenge tour and we're gonna get our national championship that we should have gotten last year. Okay, that's just plain stupid.
I like that. I like that. Put that comment up again. I like that.
Hey, look, I'm still calling the Georgia revenge.
I'm not gonna be shocked. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either.
Go ahead and finish up on the things, and we'll get to Emily, and then we'll move on to the next segment.
But yeah, LSU, man, they shot themselves
God
in the foot with that game against the University of Spoiled Children. They really did. Like on a last second, what was it, pass interference or something like that?
Oh, shit.
Like those are games you cannot afford to lose and shoot yourself in the foot, and you have got to clean it out and just go into next week with a win. You can't be doing shit like that. Tennessee, yes, Tennessee. For Tennessee, that was definitely a good tune-up game for them. I mean, wow, 63-0 in Neyland Stadium. That was just insane. Let's see here. Kentucky, not as good as we expected. I mean 31-0 against Southern Miss. Like, yeah, that's not a bad win. But when you're playing in the SEC, it should have been something like what Missouri had over Murray State. Texas A&M, new coach, same results. In a way, yeah, but we'll see what happens, what Texas A&M can do next week. So, South Carolina, just typical. Well, hey, like I said, a win is a win. Auburn, man, no surprise. Just no surprise.
No way Texas loses State.
Ooh. But yeah, other than that, I agree with Vanderbilt being the team of the week. Florida.
How they let the Chiefs get Xavier Worthy, bro? Like, what are we doing?
You got me. Hey, look, the Ravens got Zay Flowers, and I'm sure that kid really went to the film room and studied, like, what the fuck did I do?
But Derrick Henry.
Xavier Worthy, he had some good rushes and scored a touchdown.
This ain't NFL time. This college football time.
I know, man. I know, but
don't worry.
I know, but I'm just like, yo, they got everybody. Why they get him too? That hurts.
It'll be all right.
So most of their players are behind bars right now.
So real quick, I just wanted to touch on this real quick before you go any farther, James.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee and North Carolina State this week. I don't know if there's anybody from North Carolina State watching us. I just don't know if they are. But North Carolina State fans, just shut up.
Wait. We're gonna preview it. That's why we're trying to rush. We're gonna preview that.
Yep. So, now, on to the team that took a massive L. Like, the scores that I'm looking at right now are typical, just typical. But Florida took the biggest L this past weekend, and it showed. And what Bill Napier had to say after the game, because of the fans, I'm surprised that dude still has a job right now.
Yeah. That was rough.
Florida fans are, if anything, very passionate fans. And this dude wants to go on there and say, oh, well, you know what? We just got to focus on next week and not focus on what people in their mama's basements are saying. You should have been gone right then and there.
All right.
Actually, he should have been gone when he couldn't open the water bottle.
Next one. We got a long way to go.
Oh, yeah. Mississippi State, man, y'all boys came to play. But we'll see what next week has in store for y'all. Ole Miss, just stop it, guys. Stop. They were already dead by halftime. That's all I got to say. Arkansas.
Cut it out. They're already dead.
Oh, yeah. Arkansas, typical win. But, man, we still got a long way to go this season. A long way to go. I mean, 51-0 over Murray State is one thing. So, I mean, I'm kind of like, it's like, this is a good win for y'all guys. Oklahoma, we'll see what happens. Texas, we'll see what happens with them too, because it is their first year in the SEC, and the SEC is basically the bar.
Yes.
The standard.
Yes, they did. Emily, what? I know you got to go. So before you go, tell us what's right, what's wrong, and what do you feel about this chart?
I think it's pretty much right, except for I kind of expected that from Kentucky, but
So you expected that from Kentucky. So yeah. So, Emily, thank you. I know you got to go. Thank you for being on. I love you, and I will see you when the show's over.
She's got witch training to conduct.
She does.
Yeah, let's go make some potions.
Yeah, go make some potions.
And force the kids to eat it.
That's the way to do it.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. So I'm going to break this down quickly. I'll just go ahead and tell you, I agree with everything. I wrote this. South Carolina, typical. That's where we're at with that. I want to cover this real quick. That's the updated odds for the Florida Gator football team to beat 2-10. That's just came down on the season predictions yesterday. And before I say anything else, I want to tell you, I'm gonna give Chris credit. Way before the season started, Chris said Florida's going 2-10. He sure did, and it looks like the computers agree with you, Chris.
So guess what? They're wrong on UCF.
I agree with that too.
UCF has had
UCF
has had this ball game circled since 2018. Scott Strickland, your comeuppance is coming against UCF. I'm telling you, those Knights are going to go in there and they're going to beat Florida. Billy Napier be fired by the end of the day. And then guess what? Scott Strickland's getting fired too, because there's no way you let that man hire the next head coach because he's already failed on 2.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they got KJ Jefferson and quarterback too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They do. But yeah, it's gonna be a rough season in Florida. I just want to go home and point out that Chris did call that. Like, we're talking weeks before the season. He said Florida's a bad football team. They're going to lose 10 games this year, and they may lose 11. Like seriously, I looking at that schedule, man. They may not win enough. They may beat Sanford, and that's it. So let's go to AC's upset of the week. This is a segment I do, Cameron, every week. AC's upset of the week. So the game is at Old Dominion, and East Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite. The problem with that is this is the 1990. What is that feedback coming from?
Like, you guys are going to be.
Oh, I think it's some people in the background at the CQ desk.
Okay. This is not East Carolina from the 90s. Like, this is a very bad East Carolina football team, and this is an Old Dominion team that won 10 games last year. I'm feeling very confident that the 2.5-point spread that East Carolina has visiting Old Dominion is false. They want people to choose East Carolina for whatever reason, but yeah, Old Dominion wins this game.
Yeah, I think Old Dominion got a little bit too much. They got too much, man. Like, I ain't heard nothing from East Carolina since Chris Johnson was there. So,
right,
man.
So I don't expect nothing from them, man. If they get to a bowl game, maybe whatever, celebrate it then. But Old Dominion looks like one of those schools that could get to a bowl game, man.
Right. So, with that being said, we're going to take our final commercial break of the day. You're watching College Sports Villains.
I understand this.
can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, checking me, but his game is kinda weak, and I know that he cannot approach me, cause I'm looking like class and he's looking like trash. Can't get with a deadbeat ass, so no, I don't want your number, no, I don't wanna give you mine, and no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no, don't want none of your time, no.
I'm a bad guy, the one you love to hate. Andrew Anderson, stating truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast, like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain, well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. Hard rock in my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy of the podcast world, that's me. Unleashing the truth, setting it all free. Unleashing the truth.
All right, welcome back. You're watching College Sports Villains only on Dog TV. So we have 2 segments left, and this one I just ready. These are our predictions from our games of the week. Cam, something me, Chris, Emily, and James do every week. We make our predictions for 5 games that not necessarily the 5 best games, but 5 games that matter to us, right? So we're not previewing Vanderbilt this week because they're going to beat the absolute dog shit out of Alcorn State. So this is what we got here. These are our picks, right? Mine, Texas, Michigan. I want to hear yours, Cam. Here's ours. NC State, Tennessee. We're gonna talk about each and every one of them. Just a quick 2-minute synopsis. Give us your picks for each game, synopsis of what you think is gonna happen, and tell us what's going on.
All right, so Texas and Michigan, man. I think Texas wins this game. Wasn't too happy about Michigan's quarterback play, and I mean Quinn Ewers is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So I think this game, I think defensively, Michigan is still a really good team, but they're gonna have to score some points, and I don't know if they can do that. I think Texas wins here, man. Tennessee and NC State, man. I got Tennessee, man. Nico's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I think this is the first quarterback that Heupel has recruited. I think the last 2 were transfer portal guys, Hendon Hooker and Big Joe Milton. So this is first recruiting quarterback. So he's got him for at least 2 or 3 more seasons. So I like to see what he can do in that offense. When he really gets into it, and I think Tennessee just has a little bit too much. They might run the score up on this one because you got to have style points nowadays. So Tennessee wins this one. Clemson and Appalachian State, man. I actually don't know. Coming into the season, I actually was like, oh well, Clemson, might, if they show up, they might actually do something against Georgia. Nah, that didn't happen, right? And Appalachian State ain't no pushover either. They got a history of messing stuff up. So I think Clemson has a little bit too much, but it's gonna be a close ass game, though. I think it's gonna be a close game. People might see it, oh man, it's gonna be a blowout. No, I don't think so, man. And but I think Clemson gets that one. We got Colorado and Nebraska. This actually has the makings to be game of the week. You got a lot of stuff in this game, man. Nebraska's looking for that big win that they need, and Colorado, is trying to continue the momentum, But we did have this conversation last year with Colorado. They looked real good in the first couple games, didn't they? But I think Colorado wins here, man. I know people aren't really high on Shadur Sanders, man, but the dude is accurate as hell, man. Like the throws he makes to his receivers, they don't have to break stride too much. Okay, right there, they can catch, man. I think they win. I think Colorado wins, man. Nah, you got too much. You got too much faith in Nebraska. They got a good young quarterback, but they about a year away. And last one. Was that Kentucky and South Carolina? I kind of like what Chris was saying earlier about Vandergrift not looking too good. And I kind of like what he said there. I don't really like. I didn't like dude that much. But I like South Carolina because I like Rocket Sanders, man. I don't care. Strap a rocket to him, let him go. That's my guy. So I'm rocking with South Carolina, man. So that's my pick.
All right, that's cool. So Chris, we see your selections here. We'll get to James next, and then I'll finish up with what I think. This I've been looking forward to this segment all week, man. Chris, what you got?
Michigan can't throw the ball.
Nope.
If you're going to beat Texas, you have to have a balanced offense.
Correct.
One-dimensional. Donovan Edwards is going to get his yards and his carries, but without a passing game, you're not beating Texas.
Right.
Now, I briefly touched on this a minute ago about North Carolina State.
I stopped you because I wanted you to do it here.
So I don't know how many of you follow X and all of that mess, but North Carolina State fans, just shut up. How are you out here tweeting that Tennessee with a 100,000 seat stadium is not going to take over Charlotte? Bruh, did you see what they did to Death Valley? Tennessee had 70,000 people down there in Death Valley at LSU. 70,000 people.
And Charlotte's real close to Tennessee.
If you don't think they're going to come in there and take over that state, that's a home game for Tennessee in North Carolina State's backyard.
I agree.
Just shut up, North Carolina State. They're going to put it on you. Tennessee wins that game big.
I agree.
I'm not a Cade Klubnik guy. I'm not a believer in him. He couldn't even beat out DJ Ukulele at Clemson. One was a sophomore. One was a sophomore. One was a freshman. DJU started the entire season, and the only reason Klubnik started in the bowl game is because DJU transferred.
That's not how that went down. He named Cade Klubnik the starter and told DJ that he needed to hit the transfer portal. I'm just clearing up what really happened.
So I'm not a believer in Klubnik. I've seen it. I think Happy pulls the upset.
Wow.
Now,
that's not what you picked on here. Oh, yeah, you did. Okay.
Nebraska and Colorado. Matt Rule has had this game circled for a year. He was absolutely angry with the things that went on in that ball game last year. I promise you, Shiloh Sanders is not going to get away with the garbage that he got away with last year. Nebraska is going to put it on these boys. I don't know that it's going to be close. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Pinky thinks the same thing.
So I picked Kentucky, and here's my reason why. South Carolina's got a great defense. Okay, I think Kentucky's got just enough offense that they can eke out a couple scores. the problem for South Carolina is they can't score the ball. The offense just is not there right now. And that's the only reason I'm picking Kentucky. I think they got a little bit more offense than South Carolina's got. And I think they can sneak in a couple scores. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, like 17-14. I see a lot of people putting up like 45 and 30, and I'm thinking 17-14 type game.
Yeah. Hey, you got a lot of good nature ribbon online for your Michigan pick, man. They were eating you up out there.
Well, look, like I said yesterday, Texas is going to make some serious noise in the SEC, and it's not even going to be close. Like, they are definitely going to be up there, possibly competing with Alabama, possibly Georgia, but we'll see what happens. However, I don't think I've seen Texas go up north, especially to a place like Michigan, in the big house with over 104,000, and that's a hostile environment as well. I don't see Texas walking out with a win in Michigan.
I mean, hey, look,
we'll see what happens Saturday.
But Michigan ain't as good as Texas, so
that's true. And
huge.
I'm going off of crowd control here, so we'll see. All right, so ballpark. Anyways, Tennessee versus NC State. Since NC State, y'all are good. It's good to see you in the rankings, but I mean, with how Tennessee's quarterback balled out last week, man, y'all better be ready for what's happening. Appalachian State and Clemson. Every time I see Appalachian State, I go back to that College Game Day where Jack Harlow made an appearance, and he was just going off of picks of like, Appalachian State, that's the mountains, right? Yeah, I'll go with Appalachian State. But this is definitely, I think, what Clemson needs to bounce back after that loss to Georgia. But it's going to definitely be a close game. There's no doubt about that, but I think Clemson gets the win. Colorado, Nebraska. Look, Colorado, I don't know what y'all fans are drinking. I know it's Kool-Aid, but damn. Y'all really think y'all are going to go from 4 wins last year to possibly going to the college football playoffs? Nah, that ain't happening. Matt Rule and the Cornhuskers are going to run you guys ragged. And then South Carolina, Kentucky. I know Kentucky got a win last week, and South Carolina barely squeaked by, but I think this is definitely a game that South Carolina will look at, and it's like, yo, we need to step our game up after what happened against Old Dominion.
So all right. So the South Carolina games last, I did that on purpose, so I could break it down. Kentucky 24, South Carolina 17. So here's Texas, Michigan. Michigan, man, they lost everything. They lost their heart. They lost their soul. They lost their quarterback. I know it's in Michigan, but Texas is the better team top to bottom. Texas is a better coach team. Texas has a better defense. Texas has better special teams. Texas is going to get this win. They're just that good. Tennessee and NC State, I 100% agree with Chris on this. Tennessee is about to 21-17. Tennessee is about to run NC State out of this stadium. It is going to be a home game for Tennessee. That is a fact. They are going to take that stadium over. And NC State, they don't have what it takes. They're going to have to put up 34 points in this game to beat Tennessee, and they can't do it. They just can't do it. Edwards has a career game. They can't do it. So Tennessee wins this game. Clemson and App State. Here's where I really wanted to touch on this. Clemson is going to win this game. Clemson's going to win it convincingly. A lot of people put a stock into what happened last week at the Georgia game. Like, Georgia fitting to beat everybody like that. Let's not make no mistake. You just saw Clemson first. Georgia is fitting to beat everybody they played that way. Ain't nobody scoring on Georgia except for maybe man. I mean, so I'm not ready to write Clemson off. I'm looking at the rest of their schedule. I mean, Clemson can win 10, 11 games still. Georgia just is on a different level than everybody else. They really are, man. It's the culture that they built. So Cam, you said Colorado was going to win this game, right? You talking about Shedeur Sanders? I agree with you. Shedeur Sanders he is him. The problem for Colorado, and I don't understand why Dion hasn't done this, being the coach he has, is depth. So Nebraska matches up very well with Colorado offensively to defensively and on both lines. So this game is going to come down to depth, and I don't think Colorado has the depth that Nebraska has. I don't think Nebraska is going to run them out of the stadium, but Nebraska is definitely deeper. Matt Rule is as good a coach as Deion Sanders is. I'll be the first to say it if nobody else will. I think Nebraska wins this game, man. I think Nebraska wins it 27, 17, something like that. The days of high-scoring games are over, everybody. I keep seeing put up 45. Like when it seems like the games are shortened. There's rules now that shorten the game. So seeing those high scores is only when like Ole Miss is playing Furman. You're not going to see those scores in these type of games anymore. Those days are over. There's not enough time to do that anymore. Which brings me to South Carolina, Kentucky. I struggled with this. I picked Kentucky, but even still struggling with this right now. I think it may have been an emotional overreaction for me when I picked Kentucky to win the game. State went out.
Listen here.
But I'm looking at it. So, and Shane Beamer has Mark Stoops' number. He's beat 2 years in a row. He's beat him at his house. When Kentucky was 17-point favorite 2 years ago, Chris, we went into Kentucky and beat them. I was there. So he has the mental advantage, just like the Braves and the Phillies. Here's the deal, right? There's no Spencer Rattler back there for South Carolina right now. That doesn't exist. Lenore Sellers is not Spencer Rattler. The game will be 17-14. I agree with Chris. That was my prediction from the beginning. And it flip-flops every time I think about this game because South Carolina's defense is that good. Rocket Sanders can make moves. The problem is South Carolina settled for a ton of field goals without touchdowns, and that shit's not going to fly at Kentucky. Kentucky's not going to put up any more than 17, but can South Carolina put up 20? That's where I'm struggling right now because South Carolina is going to have to put up 20 points to win this game. That's just reality. Their defense is good enough to hold them under 20, but is their offense good enough to hit 20 points? At Kentucky, I've been to Kentucky. It's not particularly loud or raucous. I mean, I was there. It's not a huge home field advantage. They get excited, but it's not that. It's not a night game. It's a 3:30 game, prime time on ABC, and 2:30 Central Time. So, but I'm back and forth, Chris, James, Cam, every day I'm back and forth. South Carolina can win this game if they can put up 20 points. My problem is I watched Lenore Sellers throw to a wide open receiver without being distressed and throw the ball 3 yards in front of him for an easy wide open touchdown. And that's a problem for me. Like you cannot miss those kind of throws and win in the SEC. You just cannot. So I'm going 17-14 Kentucky directly with Chris, but all emotion aside, South Carolina can win this game. They just have to hit 20 points. And Chris, Cam, James, I don't know if they can do it. I just don't. Like, if last week's any indication, they're not going to do it. Kentucky's defense is much better than Old Dominion's defense, like much better. So, Chris, you want to take this one? I saw you raise your hand. Kentucky has the Georgia quarterback. Is he really good or not, Chris?
He's a career backup for a reason. He was given every opportunity in the world to win the job at Georgia. He got beat out by a former walk-on. And then he played third string.
Mm-hmm.
He got beat out by Carson Beck, who's younger. He had every opportunity to win that. Last week, he threw for 169 yards halfway through the third quarter when they stopped the game. And he threw a pick. I don't think, I'm not buying the hype. I don't know. He might end up being good, but I have to see it first.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. Seeing is believing, and he's not showed us anything yet. They played a very so people, you hear Southern Miss and you think the Brett Favre, and you get that warm fuzzy feeling when you hear Southern Miss. But this is a bad fucking football team, y'all. A really bad football team. Like they ain't won games in years. Like they're amongst the worst in FC and FBS football. They really are. So I don't know, man. If South Carolina puts up 20, they win. I want to pick South Carolina to win. I want to. I want to pick them so bad. But watching that offense last week, man, that just but
and the ball to Rocket.
Yeah. Well, we did. Now, Rocket Sanders had 88 yards rushing, right? Lenore Sellers had like 100 yards. We ran the ball well. What we did not do, and we moved the ball well. What we did not do is translate that into touchdowns. We translated that into field goal after field goal after field goal, and that's not going to fly in the SEC. You know what I mean? Like you got to find a way, especially against Old Dominion, to put the biscuit in the basket. You got to cross the goal line against teams like that. You found a way to win. I got my positive in this, but woo boy, let's see what Emily picked. So Emily agrees with Chris that App State is going to win this game. She agrees with Cam that Colorado is going to win this game. We talked about it. She's just high on Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter. I mean, I get it. They're phenomenal talents. She got South Carolina beating Kentucky. This is a pure emotion for her because she hates Kentucky. Cam, we went to that Kentucky game 2 years ago, and we had our 1-year-old with us, my wife and 1-year-old. And they're screaming obscenities at us, telling us to go fucking back home. You came all the way here to fucking, like, to my 1-year-old. Nasty people in Kentucky, bro. Like, believe it or not, nasty people. Except there was this one cool guy that told everybody shut the fuck up and got us through the crowd, but it was bad. She's really high on NC State, and I am too, but not against Tennessee. And she chose Texas to beat Michigan, right? So that's where we're at with that. She got one right. I mean, he like Pinky salty that we ain't picked Michigan. Like he just friends with James right now because the rest of us picked Texas to win that game. So that is great. So with this, check this out real quick. I was playing in can't remember. I think this was the national championship game. I took East Carolina and
using the ground game here. Tailback has the handoff. Breaking free at the 35. Oh, and he's in the clear now. It's a foot race. Past the 20. Past the 10.
That game ended up a lot closer than that, man. But, I built East Carolina pretty well. I play on All-American, and, I was able to win the national championship over Ole Miss. But recruiting is hard in that game. But kicking is that is the worst kicking. What do you play?
That's so stupid. That's so stupid. I hate kicking on there, man. I be simming every time. I'm like, man, he make it. Shit. I don't care. I ain't doing that shit, man. It's so stupid, man. It's like you could have easily just did what y'all did back in the day. Flick it up to start the meter, and then flick it up to get it going at what angle you want it. But they just want to make it complicated, like stopping it 2 times and then kick it into the band. Like, bro, the band not playing, bro. Like, what are you doing? So I just be like, whatever, dude.
Terrible. It's and then it's
like I said, if I'm critiquing the game, having had it for a month, 2 months or something like that, like it's an okay game, right? It's good to have it back, right? But after you play it for a little bit, it just feels like Madden. Like it's cool to do the recruiting and things like that, but it feels so much like Madden. And I'm like so disappointed in Madden because I'm like an old school Madden guy, PlayStation 2, feeling like you're immersed in the game, right? And it just feels like, So that's my whole thing, man.
I
So
play on Xbox, Derek.
me,
Yeah, can
me
play. We're
too.
Xbox guys. So Tennessee's at NC State. No, well, it's a neutral. It's a neutral field. They're playing in Charlotte. But yeah. So, but I'm gonna critique it real quick. Then we'll get to our final our final segment of the day. So here's the two things that really bother me about this game. I like the gameplay personally. Kicking system, like just like Cam said, man, if you're off a centimeter there and you don't, I mean, and aiming it's weird because it doesn't show you where it's going, you'll kick that shit in the ban. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It is bad. The kicking system is the worst I've ever seen. Like you can go and get in NFL Blitz back in the day, and they had a better kicking system than this. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And something else that drives me crazy. So like if you're East Carolina like me, right, and you're going down. The coaching carousel happens before the playoffs. Like I'm in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm offered these great schools, but then I don't get to play the playoffs. Like that needs to be after the playoffs so that you could select a new school and all that. That's crazy. Like I don't agree with that. Yeah, I mean we'll definitely play, Derek. Yeah, South Carolina's been to Kyle Field twice or three times now because they were our permanent crossover rival. But yeah, that don't make no sense, man. I want to finish my season, then I want to go and maybe take the Tennessee job or whatever it was. But I'm in the playoffs. I don't want to just go to Tennessee.
Yeah, like, and that's one thing like they had back in the day, like that work. After you do your championship bowl game, then you got the job offers.
Correct.
So
it makes no sense. Like nobody wants to cut out right before they're about to go and did the whole season and now you get the reward, your bowl game or however season you had. And then cut it. I don't know, just weird. But let's go to our final segment. This right here, Cam, is I gotta tell you, it's my favorite one.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye.
Welcome back. Woo! Man, we jive on that.
You
like,
cut it short, man.
Together, I was having a ball. You caught us all. Caught us all that time.
Man, I'm telling you that
James is sitting there with his mouth wide open.
Yeah, that me too.
Well, well, no. Some people that I used to work with, one of them is taking over for me for my watch shift, and we're just talking because he's going through a process that I'm going through right now, and it's been a while since some of us got together.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Hey, are you in the service right now?
Army, prior Navy.
Okay, all right, cool. Thanks for coming aboard on our team.
Hey, when you're doing side hustles that you want to make a full-time hustle, the grind never stops.
Hey man, I understand, man.
So,
where you stationed at?
Texas.
Okay. Oh, cool. I'm in Texas too. I ain't stationed, but I'm in Texas though.
I'm trying. So we have this thing called OPSEC where we try not to give out too much information. Otherwise, other people, there's people that could be watching this. They're like, "Oh, bet I know where he is."
Right.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Nah, I get it.
Yep.
They told us not to say nothing
You
either.
gotta keep it short and sweet,
Oh, hey, but that's all
USMC
good, man.
here.
So, Sam, this is our final thoughts, man. First of all, Football Frame of Mind, great show. Thank you for being on. Next week we'll have Brandon on. He had a little procedure done today. He can't really talk right now. I'm giving him a lot of hell in our group chat though about it.
Yeah,
But you know what?
I gotta get that done too.
Yeah, that's not pleasant. But tell us, man. Tell us where we can find. But final thoughts on the season, like preview, whatever. And then tell us where we can find you, your socials, and all that stuff.
Well, you can follow us, man, on Football Frame of Mind podcast, man. YouTube, man. We're on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Instagram. We're working on our Instagram a little bit. We got TikTok as well, man. We do shorts on the daily. So anybody out there do shorts, man, we react to them, man. Some pretty interesting takes on there. But it's all fun, man. And as far as the season, man, I really want to see what Alabama does in this game versus USF, man. Because Jalen Murrow didn't play in that game. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be mad as hell in that game. Now there's controlled anger where you can just ball out and destroy them and then move on to the next one. And then you got people that be forcing it and you throw like 3 picks because you really want to stick it to them. So I really want to know what the game plan is, man, and how he gonna look, man. I was really impressed with the defense, even though it was Western Kentucky. Or yeah, I was impressed with the defense. The defense really looked fast, man. Like
They did.
And I'm excited about that, man. Then we got a home run hitter in the running game. We didn't have that last year. And I like it, man. I like what I see, man. So I just want to see the next step of Jalen Milroe. What is that next step? He looked really good against the Hilltoppers, and I want to see him take that next step. Let's do a little bit more. Open up the playbook just a little bit, and let's see his other throws to Dupree and the tight ends and the running backs, things like that. So that's my final thought on the season so far. But I'm happy about what I see.
But I'm pretty sure for you, they would do it.
Hey, thank you, Cam. James, also plug your stove because we sister shows here, and give us your final thought.
So is this green screen? Yes. I looked up football frame of mindset. Is it FFOM1213?
Yes.
On TikTok?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Bet. Got yourself a follower, good sir.
Same here.
Helping each other grow. Say what?
Follow me too.
Oh, you're on TikTok too?
I'm brand new to it, but yeah.
I bet. Are you like usual CSV or?
No, I'm USC fan 981.
Gotcha. Too easy. Say less.
Golden Boots on there too, I think.
Yep, sure are.
But regardless of how tomorrow goes, I'm kind of expecting a long day tomorrow because I stayed behind while my team went out to the field. Not sure how tomorrow is going to go. I'm kind of expecting a long day. So just to be safe, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch me along with this dude hosting the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find at social media. We give our most brutally honest opinions about what's going on in the world of sports. First topic, it's going to be a juicy one. You're not going to want to miss it. And at the end of the day, as always, you will know whose game this is with everybody saying, No Mercy Sports. Yeah.
I love it. Chris, final thought.
So, final thoughts. Make sure to check me out on the Golden Boot podcast. We are on all the socials: YouTube, X, Facebook, Rumble. We're even on Rumble. Can you believe that? A bunch of old country boys talking football on Rumble. Hey, it is what it is. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitch. We're on IG. We're on TikTok. We're on all of them. Give us a follow. Give us a like. I'm pretty sure you'll like our content. If you don't like our content, get in the chat and yap at us a little bit. Tell us we suck. We ain't going to be offended. We just roll right along with it and try and do better. Final thoughts. So, high school football kicked off in the state of Tennessee 2 weeks ago. And we got us a player down here. Cameron, you're going to be really interested in this guy. In 7th grade, he had an offer from Oregon. In the 8th grade, he had 48 passing touchdowns and 14 rushing touchdowns. At 14 years old, he started his first varsity football game in week 1.
So while you're
Broke the school record and had 7 touchdowns.
that is the longest thing to do.
Now, his dad is a college football coach, so yeah, it's obvious he's going to have some talent in there a little bit.
Make sure
His brother is a former 5-star quarterback.
other sergeants ain't really giving a fuck.
This kid has 10 total touchdowns in
Go
2
there
games,
first,
and
get you
in
a
those
list
2 games,
everything that they want back.
he's played a total of 3 quarters
Next to it,
and 1 drive.
ECS,
He got 10
ETS,
touchdowns.
and there's another section.
His name happens to be Graham
Y's and N's.
Simpson.
So you go under your
Yes,
your section,
that is Ty
pretty sure
Simpson's younger brother, and he's already broken Ty
and
Simpson's
you literally
school
just follow
record for
that list. There's a
touchdowns.
yes or a no. Anything that has a
He
no, you
currently
don't.
holds committable offers from Oregon and Ole Miss.
That way you're not bringing. Your
So if you're
entire-
into watching some high school football,
You're go to
go check out Graham Simpson's highlights. This
like a
kid
uniform.
is special. I've never seen a 14-year-old do what this kid is doing. He's telling wide receivers where to go on the field.
But there's only one.
Wow. 14-year-old.
So
If you're
That's
into
what's
that,
happening.
go check him out. He's got his highlights on Huddle.
So as we talking,
I got a buddy that had 2 vests.
so are we talking Trevor Lawrence level at that age? Because Trevor Lawrence
Better.
Deployments happen, blood happens.
Yeah, he's better. He's better than Lawrence was at that age.
They literally just sold one of the supply companies. They cleaned it and resold
Thank
to
you,
somebody
guys. I appreciate it. It's a great
you
show.
know, Hyper's gonna try to keep him there though.
And
Oh,
granted, you got
definitely. Cam, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Next week, you and Brandon both come in.
to be fair,
course, man.
I'm lucky because I got
Yeah, so next week will be the Brandon will be here with you. So we'll promote that show. Thank you guys for being on. I appreciate it. And I will see you all next week.
All right.
All right, everybody. Final thoughts. You're watching College Sports Villains only on Dog TV. South Carolina really can go in there and win this game against Kentucky. Like they have to put up 20 points. They can, but the quarterback play's got to get a lot better. I'm a big proponent of putting Robbie Ashford in until Lenore Sellers has what he needs. Ashford has been there. I was watching his highlight reels. That's right, Piggy Go Cox. I was watching his highlight reels at Auburn, and the kid is good. I can't believe that he didn't start over Peyton Thorne, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. That's just what I want to see out of South Carolina. I know Shane Beamer, he has Mark Stoops' number, so I think South Carolina wins this game. But at the same time, I don't want my emotion to rule me. And just watching both of those games, I think I agree with Chris 100%. 17-14. Tennessee's going to put up 17 points, and South Carolina's going to have to put up 20. And to be honest with you, I'm going to have to believe it to see it before I start picking South Carolina in these type of games with Shane Beamer and Lenore Sellers. But as always, you're watching College Sports Villains only on Dog TV. John 3:16.
Your best behavior, turn your back on Mother Nature.